Arsenal bombshell. Fabrizio Romano confirms Bukayo Saka's shocking decision. Saliba signs new contract, but Alan Brazil claims he's lying about Real Madrid. And Robert Pires blasts. Kroenke will fire Arteta at the end of the year. Another big day for Arsenal, and if you carry this club in your heart like we do, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because every victory, every signing, every heartbreak, we live it all together. Let's jump into today's news. Arsenal fans, stop what you're doing, because Fabrizio Romano has just dropped a massive update on Bukayo Saka's future. And trust me, this is the kind of news that can change everything for our club. But before I tell you what Romano revealed, let's rewind for a second. Andrea Berta, Arsenal's new sporting director, has been on fire since stepping in. 8 signings this summer, fresh contracts for Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Lewis Skelly, and Nwaneri. The man has been busy. But now, his biggest mission begins, and it all revolves around one player, Bukayo Saka. Now here's where it gets interesting. Romano has confirmed that after private talks with Mikel Arteta, Saka has made a decision about his contract. The Hale End boy, who became one of the best in the world under Arteta, is ready to commit his future to Arsenal. Yes, Saka wants to stay, but let's not celebrate just yet because the deal isn't signed. Arteta himself is personally involved in these talks, just like he was with Saliba, making sure Saka feels central to the project. And Arsenal sources, they're confident, very confident. In fact, Romano says Saka is considered untouchable. The heartbeat of the project, and a new contract is the club's next big priority. And here's the kicker. Once Saka's deal is done, all eyes will turn to Gabriel Martinelli. His contract runs until 2027, but if the club waits too long, he could enter his final year. And letting that happen, that would be a huge mistake. So Gooners, buckle up. Saka looks set to stay and lead this Arsenal project into the future. But the question now is, who's next? Will Martinelli commit as well, or could we be heading toward another contract saga? Stay tuned because this story is only just beginning. William Saliba has finally committed his future to the club, but not everyone believes the story he's telling, and what Alan Brazil just said about him is causing a storm. For years, we've lived with the fear of losing our best players to European giants, heroes at the Emirates, only to be snatched away by so-called bigger clubs. But that narrative, it's starting to die. Saliba is the latest proof, putting pen to paper and shutting the door on Real Madrid. Or did he really? Because here's the twist. Talksport pundit Alan Brazil doesn't buy Saliba's version of events. He actually accused our center back of telling fibs when he said he never wanted Madrid. Brazil even joked about Saliba's nose growing like the child catcher out of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But then Ali McCoist fired back. He wasn't having it. In fact, he went as far as to claim that Arsenal right now are a better team than Real Madrid. His evidence? Watching Real get ripped apart by Atletico, and remembering how Arsenal beat them home and away last season. So what does Saliba himself say? When pressed about why he stayed in London instead of chasing Madrid's glamour, his answer was bold and direct. I've done nothing for this club yet. I've only won the Community Shield. I love this club and I can't leave without giving something back. My first choice was to stay here and win everything. Strong words from a player who's becoming the heartbeat of this team. For Arsenal fans, it's music to the ears. For Alan Brazil, still not enough. So here's the question, Gooners. Do you believe Saliba when he says Arsenal was always his #1 choice? Or do you think Real Madrid was really tempting him behind the scenes? Either way, one thing is certain. Saliba's staying, and he wants to win it all with Arsenal. And that's exactly the kind of commitment this team needs to reach the very top. Arsenal fans, a shocking claim has just dropped, and it's from none other than Robert Pires, one of our very own Invincibles. He believes Stan Kroenke will definitely sack Mikel Arteta if one thing happens this season. Now, let's break this down. Arteta has completely transformed Arsenal from a team struggling for direction to one of the best sides in Europe. He's rebuilt the club, re-energized the fan base, and taken us back to the top level. But despite all of that, critics still say one thing is missing: the big trophies, the Premier League, the Champions League. And here's where the controversy starts. According to Pires, if Arteta finishes this season empty-handed again, Stan Kroenke could pull the trigger. His exact words: "If this year there is no trophy, the management will think about finding another coach, because he has been there for 5 years, and the title has eluded him. If Arsenal are not champions, there will definitely be a change on the bench. 5 years. Heavy spending in the summer. A squad built exactly as Arteta wanted. The pressure is higher than ever, and Perez is warning that patience might finally run out. But let's be honest, should it? Arteta has taken Arsenal to 3 consecutive second-place finishes and a Champions League semi-final. He's loved by the players, trusted by the board, and adored by most of the fan base. To sack him now would feel crazy, and yet the demand for silverware is real. So here's the question for you Gooners: if Arsenal go another season without lifting a major trophy, do you think Kroenke will really fire Arteta, or is Perez just stirring up controversy? One thing's for sure, this season could define everything: Arteta's future, Arsenal's trajectory, and whether or not this project finally gets the reward it deserves. Mikel Arteta has just said something jaw-dropping about one of our players. And believe me, this is not about Saka, not about Saliba, not even about Martinelli. No, it's about a 15-year-old kid who's already making waves in the first team. His name, Max Dowman. Yes, you heard that right, just 15 years old, and Arteta is calling what he's doing absolutely unheard of. Let's put this into perspective. Dowman has already featured 3 times for Arsenal's first team this season, and every single time he's been on the pitch, fans and pundits have been blown away. The maturity, the confidence, the quality, this is something special. Arteta explained how it all started. In his words, "The first conversation was with Per Mertesacker. We were talking about talent, and straight away his name came up. The way he's developed, the steps he's taken, and the speed he's taken them. It's probably unheard of. And here's the thing, Dowman isn't just training with the senior squad. He's being treated like one of them. He's got the same opportunities, the same chances, and the trust of the manager. But now comes the part that could make history. We all remember when Arteta gave Ethan Nwaneri his debut, making him the youngest Premier League player ever. Well, guess what? Arteta could break another record, this time in the Champions League. If Dowman plays before his birthday in December, he'll become the youngest player ever to appear in the competition's history. And with Arsenal facing Olympiacos next, Dowman is expected to be in the squad. Will he get minutes? That's the big question. So Gooners, here's what we need to ask. Are we witnessing the rise of the next Hale-End superstar? Could Max Dowman be the future face of Arsenal, just like Saka? One thing's for sure, Mikel Arteta doesn't use words like unheard of lightly. Keep your eyes on Dowman, because his story might just be beginning. And that wraps up today's biggest Arsenal news. If you enjoyed the update and want to stay on top of everything happening with the Gunners, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, Arsenal!